So let's talk about the business of cooking, the career in cooking. Do you have to go to school?
No. I don't want people to think that you have to go to culinary school to be a chef. You don't have to, but it's when you start getting into allergies and working for hospitals and things of that nature, you do need that education.
How has all the food allergies changed the way you cook?
The important thing about the food allergies is you have to be honest with your customer. If you don't really know about it, say, well, let me research it. And that's where education really comes in. I had a board president one time said, the only day you have off is Mondays, and I was an adjunct teacher. I don't want you teaching. You need a day off. And I listened to him, and I said, well, and his name was Gene Hutchin, very successful guy. I said, Mr. Gene, what you fail to realize, when I studied to teach a subject, not only do I pick up what I forgot, but I end up learning more than a student. So, it's very beneficial to this club for me to continue.
I think that's a good working definition for education in general, not just
so.
cooking. It's not about learning exactly job skills in a academic setting. It's about learning what some people maybe call like critical thinking skills or something like that, so that you can change what you're doing and be dynamic as the world around you and the needs of your workflow change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And country clubs have traditions. Pleasant Valley is the same thing. They have a 3-ring notebook of Pleasant Valley recipes. And I said, I might tweak them a little, but what we have to do as executive chefs and sous chefs, you can give them all the recipes they want. They still have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not following your recipe, then who cares what recipe we make chicken salad out of? If they're not following it.
If you have all your recipes in a 3-ring binder, how do you keep people from stealing your recipes?
A recipe cannot be patent. It can be copyrighted, but it can't be patent, because if I give you one of my recipes, all you got to do is add one more ingredient to it and it becomes whose? Yours. It's not the recipe. It's the execution of the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the teaching, and I teach different than most chefs at the school. I let you make the mistake of not following the recipe. Then I show you how to correct it.
Oh, that's good.
Then you end up learning 2 things instead of 1. The hardest thing to do is when somebody gets down on a chef or down on you, is to say, hey, it's not all your fault. Let's change this.
Mm-hmm.
And they know I believe in them.
Mm-hmm. You weren't always like that.
Oh, heck no. Heck no.
Who'd you say before the show, you said I was like
Gordon Ramsay.
Just cussing like a sailor.
And a good mentor of mine said, why don't you quit bitching and start teaching? They said, you're so knowledgeable. And I really gravitate towards education and experience. And, it does me more pleasure to turn somebody around and teach them something than it does to yell at them. As young chefs, we think nobody cares as much as we do. But a lot of people do care about what they do.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the full interview on the right side of the screen. Want to see more of Kerry's interviews? Subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of her latest shows. And as always, thank you for watching.